How y'all doing today? Well, my name's Tom, and I'm just a rambling Christian. If this is the first time you've been here, please stick around. We look at things a little different around here. Now, typically, I like to ramble before I get started, so. Now, I tell you, Trump is Nebuchadnezzar. They're building a statue to him. Going to set it up in the mall area. Of the one where he's standing, after he got grazed in the ear there. My dad got both his knees blowed out in Vietnam. Told him my stepdad, they said he'd never walk again. Took him 2 years, but he still walks today. But, and no statue like that for my dad, my stepfather. But, and many, many more who paid even more dearly in this country. But anyway, man seeks. I don't know. It's like man automatically feels inadequate the way they are. That they have to raise people up above them instead of relying on what God gave you. This. We don't look to ourselves. Instead, we look to others to influence us one way or another. Instead of actually taking time to input the information that's coming in, meditate on it, make an informed decision within this before we even ask a question to another. Until I can't find the answer, that's when I have the question. When I can't find it. Let's start here. And I'm going to ramble, and we're going to try and get to the Gnostic. But we're in Job. And I tell you, Job, I said it was a representation of the Lord of this world, but I am going to narrow it down to Job is the dude in charge of the USA, Nebuchadnezzar. That's a representation of it, and I'm going to show you how in just a moment. But first, let's start off with some words of Jesus. Now, Christians, now I call myself a Christian because I believe every word that came out of Jesus Christ's mouth. Every word. No lie possible within it, right? So, there is deception for those tainted of heart. But it says, therefore, now this is Matthew 24. Therefore, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, the prophet, standing in the holy place, whoever reads, let him understand. Now, what is the abomination of desolation? Let's speak of the statue that Daniel and Nebuchadnezzar are speaking together. Now, so this gives me a time frame, really a time frame. So Trump has not been put out. Nebuchadnezzar has not been put out his 7 times. Now, those 7 times that he's going to be put out are the 70 times 7 chances he's going to get after. It's all coming now. Nebuchadnezzar built a statue right, to himself. So, and right now, Nebuchadnezzar is getting a statue. Now, there are other statues all over, but this is one that is going in the mall area, the Mall of America. Okay? A holy place. This is Babylon, Egypt, not Egypt, my bad. Uh, the land of milk and honey. The land of milk and honey is not a desert wasteland. I mean, oil, whoopee, but here we have all climates. The beautiful everything, man. We got the hottest desert on earth to the most beautiful places here. Uh, and it produces, and it's the most wealthy, well, was the most wealthy country on the planet. Was. And, it's, I mean, we maintain a perception of wealth by decreasing the value of a dollar. If you make a dollar worth 25 cents, you got a lot of, you can print a lot of money. I don't know, man. Then you can say, oh, my gold backs it up. But, I got billions and billions of dollars that are worth 25 cents. And it says Nebuchadnezzar, the king, made an image of gold whose height was 60 cubits and its width 6 cubits, set up in the plain of Dura in the province of Babylon. Now, I tell you that New York City, that is the headquarters, where the root of all evil is the love of money, right? New York Stock Exchange. That's Babylon headquarters, okay? Right outside, and you can see it from all over New York. There's a statue out there called Lady Liberty, who is actually a statue of Romulus, from Romulus and Remus, 151 feet tall. Now, 60 cubits, that is 100 and, what is it, a foot and a half? So it's 150 feet? Hold on. 60 cubits to feet. It's a foot and a half. So 120, about 150 feet tall. Trump holding his hand up in his statue, Lady Liberty. And that's the light. That is the best campaign picture you could ever have. The light to the Christians. Lady Liberty, light to the Christians. Okay? The statue is the placement. 140 years ago, Job lived 140 years. We were supposed to be Remus, and Romulus kills Remus. He taunted him. Romulus built a wall, the Vatican City. Remus was taunted by Romulus, eventually killed. But the taunt is the statue outside of his land, an abomination of desolation to Job, the Lord of this land. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of it. I sat at his table. That's why I'm here in Babylon. But anyway, so let me look. Let me double check how tall. See, it's 18 inches per cubit. Hold on just a second. Oh, it says 90 feet. I remember now. But you got the whole statue, the light at the top too. You got that. You got the arm raised. The dude stands 90 feet tall. But around. This is when you can believe it's happening, because it is happening right in front of our faces. Exactly what's happening. And they deny this whole book, so they'll never, ever see that at all. But 140 years ago, Job is about to die. This country, Babylon, will not be found anymore. I knew I was to collect those who left Babylon, and I am in Babylon with them, sitting at the king's table, his land. So, wow. And for those of you who don't think this land is Job, is it not all festering, icky? Nobody wants to touch it, especially the people. See, that's where the spirit of Job is with all the flock and all the people. He's in charge here, though. You know, it makes him not, well, the Lord of the land, I guess. Now, give me just a minute, and I'm going to pull up this Job. But Romulus, Remus, I tell you, those are the Roman representations of Cain and Abel. Romulus would be Cain. Abel would be Remus. We are the spirit, the Yahweh of God. Okay? We are the spirit of the children of Israel. That is represented, by Abel, Yahweh. And, life in the spirit, not life in the flesh. Christians should have been more into listening to the Father instead of hiding behind the brother. And it's all right in front of our face. And now I didn't wake up yesterday and just all of a sudden, I knew everything I know today. No, that's not true. I've put a lot of study in over the last year, and I've captured a lot of it on video. Not everything. And it all started out with fear. Fear from, the Lord of hosts. That, and we discussed it yesterday, was the start of wisdom. Fear of the Lord. If you have no fear of the Lord in your walk, I can't really say that's a good thing. If you feel that Jesus, I've heard so many Christians profess they will not stand in judgment. They get to judge. It says every knee. Every knee. And this is, that's that word, all. They don't understand that word, all. Jesus will not speak for them. He gave them the chance to do it on their own. That's, it's a land of free will. He washed you clean, and it says within the New Testament, one time for your second death. How do you take that? If it's your second death and you're going to come up against, you say your first death was spiritual, your second death is in the flesh. How does that work? How can you call one death and one life? You've given death a double meaning. You call, when you die in the spirit, that gives you life in Jesus. And then you die in the flesh, and he gives you new flesh. Life in the Father's kingdom, which is invisible, and flesh does not enter into that realm. all these things, and you pick apart one little thing to where you can judge your brother. And it says you're the ones that, judgment starts at the church. That's where it starts. It's where it's going to end, too. It's a circle. Next ones will be called. They will be given a chance, too. But I had a video. Apparently, some community standard thing. I think it was when I was speaking of Farmika, so I won't. But I saved the video for those who come after me. Now, I've had a comment. I got a comment from Tony. Now, Tony speaks spirit. He truly does. He does. But he gave a date, 12/21/24. Now, Hananiah is getting married on 12/24. It's supposed to be his, he woke up 12/21/20. 4 years, and he claims to be the Christ. Death. But Christ comes from judgment, right? Anyway, but okay, so there's two people, and they don't know each other. I got them at two separate times, and so my folks, my mother and my stepfather got married December 21st. Or two or three witnesses. I got 3. I don't know. I did not find that anywhere in here. I do not profess to be a prophet. But they say one time could be a fluke, twice, maybe a coincidence, 3 times, though. And December 21st was the first day I met my stepdaughter. And 2001. Wow, that just came to me. Hold on. Okay, so let's continue on here. Now Nebuchadnezzar, he builds his statue. Let's say this Trump thing, the abomination of desolation. Now I tell you, punishment here is 1/10 the time. I will shorten the days. So 70 years will be 7 years, okay? But now, after the statue, 3 would not bow down to that statue. Now that's Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, these are the representations of Islam, Judaism, and Catholicism. Okay, that's who they are that will not bow down to the image of Nebuchadnezzar, the United States. Okay, Jews spit on you. And FYI, that's because we are the harlot. Okay, we're the harlot. We are not a Christian country. We are Babylon. The land that was given to the holy people, right? Took all this, from the Philistines, But, who cares, right? Now, right after, they will not bow down. He spoke and commanded that they heat the furnace 7 times more than it was already heeded. This is coming. I tell you that this is a representation of man being given all authority over every beast of the field, every bird of the air, every fish of the sea. That's day 6 coming your way. The tribulation hasn't started yet. That's my bad. The heat's coming. See, I need time frames. I have to verify. And that's pretty good verification right there. The statue 7 times. They won't bow down, I don't think Netanyahu is afraid of us, really. And he's not afraid of Islam. Islam is definitely not afraid of us. And Roman Catholics just think we're Protestants. We protest the word of God they have. They won't bow down to us. That is true. See, that's where you're at. Right there in Daniel. Right there. Okay. And this is after our captivity. Because Daniel is from one of the children of the captives, right? Well, all 3 of them are Jewish children. But Philistine children, not Jews. Philistines mock God. Jews mock God. And David kills the Philistines, right? But there's more that I've seen this morning about all this. And all this come to me yesterday. It started off with me seeing Trump's. And it was a news thing. It wasn't somebody heard this and that. No, I've seen pictures of it. It's almost completed. And it's going to be the image of gold because it's going to be like bronze. And FYI, I forgot to mention that too. Statue of Liberty, when she's all cleaned up, she's bronze, right? She looks like golden image, an image of gold, not gold. It's the image of gold, a golden image, But, all that. You see, even if she's Lady Liberty, but she's not. Look at her, she's a dude. The hands, look at the hands real close. That's her dude's hand. Look into dude's face. Look at it. Now, when that was placed there, see that? What does it say? We are a land of God, right? Why did we allow a Greek goddess to be put at our gate? That's our gateway. So you have Romulus Cain standing at your gateway. Jesus Christ. Standing there. Jesus says you have to hate. Cain hates. He kills his brothers and his sisters. And he's the one guarding your gate. Wow. The Old Testament tells us that the foreigner and the stranger in your land can become one of you if they follow your statutes and your, God's commandments and statutes and testimonies and things. They're welcome to stay. But if they deny those things, kick them out. We have so many people in this country, and Cain is at your door. So he's only going to let those who kill hate their brothers and sisters. Okay, now we're all one. These are all the foreigners and the strangers that are coming in here and creating their own groups and ethnic groups instead of becoming one with America, like the Indian nation who's defeated, conquered. They won't step in and become one with us. We were to expel them. Anyone who comes here and honors the word of God, we were supposed to keep. You're not supposed to keep the foreigners and the strangers, and that's very clear in the Old Testament. Immigration is very welcome in the Old Testament, but they have to follow the laws of the land. There's no bringing in false gods, none of that kind of stuff. They have to obey the laws of Israel. When you want to when you want to come to Israel and stay, you're supposed to follow the laws of Israel, just as you do today. And if they didn't, you expel them. Now, Israel allows a lot of foreigners and strangers through their land and stuff. And that there is part of that. But they're not allowing them to just, you see how they are with people who don't believe like them. That's a, fine line they're walking. They're pushing Gaza down like, well, they, want to rebuild it in their own way, get rid of all them guys. And, we'll have our, that land back. And things like this. And deception is everywhere. But we don't take any of that. Cain's only going to allow Cain's into your country. And all you see these people, and they refer to themselves like this. I'm African American, I'm Chinese American, I'm Dutch American, I'm this American, I'm that American. No, you're not. If you were born in this country, you're American. That's it. Nothing else. No other ethnicity, because this country has all ethnicities. That's what American means. Everybody. All inclusive. When you say you're an American, you can be black, white, Hispanic, Chinese, Japanese, Korean. That's what American means. A melting pot of all for all. This was supposed to be the land of the free and home of the brave. Well, I feel pretty much like a slave. And not much bravery here. Churches hidden themselves away from the world because they scared little kids, afraid they're going to stub a toe or something out there talking to some dude on crack or something. I don't know. Where are the brave men? And this is not a mere military fight. This is a spiritual battle, right? All will stand. Like I tell you, Adam has a God. Job obviously is talking to a God. The dude put him in charge of people, right? And I'm going to cover that in real depth today. I might not get to them Gnostics. Now, I want to do Job 29. And Job, again, took up his discourse and said, Oh, that I were as in the mouths of old, as in the days when God watched over me. This country was blessed, right? Blessed above all others. We used to be. That in itself should have been proof that this is God's land. Not that. Because we were blessed above all others on the planet. That means that God watched after us if we claim that God is God of all. But we didn't claim that our Father was looking after us. No, we claimed that our brother was. And we even put a statue of our brother at the gateway to America. Wow. Graven images. Nothing dead. And Romulus and Remus are both dead. now. But anyway, you resurrected him. Good job. Uh, when his lamp shone upon my head, and by his light I walked through darkness, as I was in my autumn days, when the friendship of God was upon my tent, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me, when my steps were washed with milk, and the rock poured out for me streams of oil. Now we are the rock. The streams of oil would have been prayers to the Father and things of this nature, and seeking Him for guidance. This is a blessing to your Father when you go to Him. There's nothing like, I've been a father. There's nothing like when your child comes to you and says, "What do you think?" It's like, oh, wow. And you, as a father, you scramble in your head to give the best advice. You don't give your child anything but the best you got as an answer, right? And he just came from his brother who said something totally different than you did, right? He just came from his brother. That's the parent. That's a father. And that oil is that kind of, that's the respect, that's the love, that you show. I don't know how many times I've asked somebody a question when I knew the answer perfectly, just to make them feel like they had input in what I said or did. It makes them, oh, he's going to do it my way. No, doing it the way I was going to do it. I just wanted to see what you said. And things like that. It's just that easy. If God's the Father, then you have to look at Him as, the example is in which is set before our eyes. We have good fathers and bad fathers. Good fathers love in all situations and help in all situations. Bad fathers just don't give a crap. Right? And your brother definitely don't care. You can do whatever you want. Oh, you're just tagging along. Anybody with an older brother? I was an older brother, but the younger brothers are always tag-alongs. Golly, man. And then they're the ones you tell to go eat snails and stuff like that. Your younger brothers and stuff. When I went out to the gate of the city, when I prepared my seat in the square, the young men saw me and withdrew, and the aged rose and stood. The aged, the older, came. Wow. The princes refrained from talking and laid their hands on their mouths. That's the people called. You rest on faith alone. And the only word you have for anybody else is, you're going to hell if you don't believe my way. The voice of the nobles was hushed, and their tongues cleaved to the roof of their mouth. Now, these are people in church and stuff. That's where wealth comes from, is spiritual wealth. This is not, church would go to, this is kings or rich men on earth and all this kind of stuff. But no, there's no wealth in that. God doesn't want gold and silver as a monetary. He wants gold and silver as spirits. That's the lights that you shine. When the ear heard it, it called me blessed. When the ear heard, it called me blessed. And when the eye saw, it approved. Because I delivered the poor who cried, and the fatherless who had none to help him. The blessing of him who was about to perish came upon me. And I caused the widow's heart to sing with joy. Who's the widow's heart? Now I tell you, Cain's wife is his spirit. His sister was his spirit inside. Abel's sister was comely, and I call it his flesh died, right? Abel, the spirit lives for an eternity. So his sister, the widow, is, you know, saying with joy, get out of here. The mother of us all, Eve. There you go. Adam died, right? First, and then Eve passed away later. Adam died first. I put on righteousness, and it clothed me. My justice was like a robe and a turban. I was eyes to the blind and feet to the lame. Wow. I was a father to the poor, and I searched out the cause of him whom I did not know. Wow. I broke the fangs of the unrighteous and made him drop his prey from his teeth. That's church. That's unrighteous, the things, the hate and evil that you speak out of your mouth today. The church was built on love, and now it has turned to hate. And you wonder why the numbers are down. The message has changed. Wow. Then I thought, I shall die in my nest, and I shall multiply my days as the sand. That's how many days. Multiply my days if I die. Multiply them the days of the sand. How many times y'all been here? Wow. Multiply my days as the sand. My roots spread out to the waters. With the dew all night on my branches. My glory fresh with me, and my bow ever new in my hand. Never drew his bow. Never tried to kill anybody. It was all love, mercy, and understanding. I never drew my bow. I never attacked you. Why do you attack me? That's the Father. Jesus didn't come here to save you from him. He came here to bring you to him. It's all about going back to the Father, right? The prodigal son doesn't go home to the brother. The brother's jealous when he gets home. Oh, I've been here the whole time. So your brother's keeping you away, still feeding the swine. He ain't ready to go home. He left on his own. Did not Cain leave on his own too? Even though Adam and Eve still loved him after he had killed Abel. It says that. Wow. Men listened to me and waited, and kept silence for my counsel. After I spoke, they did not speak again, and my words dropped upon them. They waited for me as for the rain, and they opened their mouths as for the spring rain. I smiled on them when they had no confidence, and the light of my countenance they did not cast down. I chose their way and sat as chief, and I dwelt like a king among his troops, like one who comforts mourners. Does that sound like just some regular dude, or does that sound like the dude in charge? Isn't this what God does? I still want to do 30. But I'll hold it off till tomorrow. Give me a minute and I'll pull up some Gnostic. I'm going to hold off. We're doing a dinner today anyway, and I'm cooking ham and stuff, so I won't get on that. But when you're reading the words on the page. Pay attention to whom they're speaking to. May the Holy Spirit guide you. May God, the Father, creator of us all, protect your soul.